Greetings, traveler. Mr. P here with part 3 of our series where I help you build a character for Dungeons and Dragons. So far, our forest gnome rogue, Little Gentleman, is in good shape. We've made the first choices for the box at the top and got his numbers. So now it's time for features and traits. When this is done, he'll be ready to enter that dungeon, explore that forest, board that pirate ship, whatever the adventure requires. Now, you get features and traits from two places, your race and your class. Let's see what gnomes and then forest gnomes get. A quick look in the player's handbook reveals that I get dark vision, meaning that I can see in the dark. Very useful. Pretty much everybody gets dark vision, except humans. My cousin, who always plays human, when we have to deal with darkness, he's out of luck. I also get gnome cunning, meaning I have advantage on saving throws dealing with magic. Pretty useful. That's it for the gnome stuff. For the forest gnome, I get natural illusionist. This means I can cast the minor illusion cantrip all I want. Cantrips are spells that you can cast over and over again. I can't wait to give my gnome cool, glowing eyes or a glowing beard. I also get speak with small beasts. I can talk to squirrels, rabbits, moles, and other little forest creatures. Oh man, if I could talk to those squirrels that sneak into courtyard, that would be a dream come true. Now, I don't need to write down the full description. I'll just put the name of the trait and maybe a page number so I can look it up later. If you're using D&D Beyond, it does all that stuff for you. Let's move on to class traits. So, flipping to the rogue section of the player's handbook, I can see that I get 3 skills at level 1. Expertise means that I can double my proficiency with 2 skills or one skill and thieves tools, which are lockpicks, burglary tools, that sort of thing. I'll choose to double my proficiency for stealth, giving me a +9, and take proficiency in thieves tools. Very useful. I also get sneak attack. This gives me an extra d6 of damage to stealthy attacks. In one game that I play, the rogue with a bow and sneak attack took out an entire boat of ghost pirates. Sneak attack rules. I also get thieves' cant. It lets me understand the language of the criminal underworld. Pretty useful. That's it for features and traits. Each time you level up, you get more of them. Just update the character sheet and you're all good. Let's give Little Gentleman some equipment. There's a handy list of starting equipment right there in the book. And if you're using Dungeons and Dragons Beyond, it walks you through choosing the equipment that you want to add to your character sheet. After looking through and making some choices, I'll go with a rapier, a thin, short sword, or a thin, long sword that uses dexterity, a short bow, and leather armor. Now, let's put them together. Armor decides your armor class. When a gnoll wants to take a bite out of you, they have to beat your armor class, so you want it high. How you figure out what it is that you look up the armor's value and add your dexterity modifier. Leather armor is 11, which is not great, but Little Gentleman's dexterity modifier is +3. 11 plus 3 is 14. Not too bad. If you don't have great armor, it's okay. There's one courtyard student whose name starts with a C who always plays wizards or other spellcasters. He's a glass cannon. He does a lot of damage, but he can't take a hit. Another courtyard student, his name starts with a G, likes armor. He'll have an 18 or even 19 armor class. It's his job to take those hits. One player can't be good at everything. That's why D&D is a team game. Let's move on to weapons. I'll mark down that I have the rapier in this attacks and spellcasting box in the center. Now, there's 2 numbers I need to know. The first is the attack bonus, what I add to the d20 to see if I hit. Usually, you add your strength or dexterity modifier to this box. Some weapons are strength weapons, like big clubs or heavy swords. Others use dexterity. Some weapons are called finesse weapons. They can use either. The rapier is a finesse weapon. Little Gentleman's dexterity modifier is a +3. However, he also has proficiency with rapiers. That means that I add the proficiency bonus, a +2, to that +3. 3 plus 2 equals 5. So he gets a +5 to rapier attacks. That's really good. He is a master swords gnome. Now, the damage. After you hit with an attack, this is what you add to the damage dice. Rapiers do a d8 of damage. I'll add my dexterity modifier to the damage, so it ends up being a d8 plus 3. I do not add the proficiency for that damage. It will stay a +3. I'll mark that here. For the short bow, it's pretty much the same. +5 to hit with the short bow, and a d6 plus 3 for the damage. If you add the sneak attack to that, an extra d6, and you can see how Little Gentleman will really bring that damage. Okay, so that's features and traits and equipment. Little Gentleman is ready to play. There are still some blank boxes, and you can fill those out to add more depth to the character. If you want personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws over there in the top right section of your character sheet, you can create your own, or there are great samples in the background section. You can use the boxes inside. To draw a quick picture of your character, take helpful notes of the other characters, and write down the treasure you get from exploring those dungeons. It's cool to use these to build some flavor for the character. One girl at Courtyard whose name starts with an M will always make her character a princess. A high elf princess, or a vampire princess, or a demigod princess. And that opens up a whole possibility of princess-based stories. If you work with a dungeon master, when you're brainstorming your characters, it can inspire them to create stories that are tied closely to your character. So, that's what you need to play. But what do you need to dungeon master? Some helpful dungeon master tips are coming up next. In the meantime, don't forget to hit that like button, ring that subscriber bell, and shoot me an email at mpanish@courtyard.org if there's any RPG content you would like to see. Now, I must go. Farewell, traveler.